A dozen or so months ago, this house did not look as it does today. Essentially, it was a progressing ruin. What influenced this? Among other things, it is located in a forest environment, was uninhabited, and was not heated. This caused the degradation of its structural parts. So before any renovation work began, it was necessary to eliminate the causes of all dampness and then their effects. In today's video material, we will focus on one of the elements of this building, elements essential for its tightness, an element that caused very big problems at the beginning. It's about the roof, more precisely the flat roof where leaks appeared. We will explain to you how they occurred and how they were removed, and importantly for our video, using which materials to give you a fuller understanding of the condition of the house behind me, the house whose roof we will be showing you today. In a moment, I will present to you one of the buildings on the property that has not yet been renovated and is very representative of the state the house which is standing behind was in. Behind me, I'm showing you in the frame a residential farm building that hasn't yet undergone renovation work. I'd like to draw your attention to the damage caused by moisture and biological contamination. This building looks very representative of how, as I told you, the house on this property looked. Due to lack of heating, roof leaks, damage to the metalwork, water began to seep through the ceiling, simultaneously affecting vertical barriers, which caused the destruction and cracking of the plaster. You know, temperature changes. In winter, this phenomenon is particularly intensified. Water expands, all structures crack. Here you can see that not only the bricks were damaged, but even the ceiling. A reinforced concrete ceiling, so imagine what damage water can cause in such a structure. Just look at this layer. Blisters start to appear, which are also a result of dampness. However, I also wanted to draw your attention to it, how many biological contaminants are present on the remnants of this facade. This structure has no micropores into which algae, molds, fungi are able to penetrate and colonize such surfaces, especially in the case of when there is old growth on the plot and the wall itself is damp. This creates ideal conditions for such microorganisms. Once again, I will repeat, the house was in a similar state, and in a moment for comparison, I will show you how its insulation looks at this moment. After cleaning the walls and applying the KAWA solution, a sealing solution with different properties, which I will also tell you about today in the case of the roof. We are dealing with the flat roof. This type of roof, known as the flat roof, requires very precise sealing work due to its slight slope. Otherwise, there is a high risk under Polish conditions that rainwater will cause damage, and consequently these damages will also appear in the vertical partitions. I will soon tell you what caused the leaks and how they were eliminated. I will use the help of a specialist, namely the renovation works manager of this site, who will best explain the issues related to repairing such a roof deck on which you is located. Wojtek is with us. In a moment we will ask Wojtek a few questions, because Wojtek was generally responsible for the renovation of this roof, which was in a tragic state. He will tell you what happened here and how the causes of the flooding that occurred in this building were eliminated. Wojtek, what was initially on this roof? Why did the flooding occur in the first place?
The flooding occurred due to improper installation of the roofing material on this roof. Simply the roofing felt was poorly done, overheated in some places, underheated in others. The water got in, generally all the edges, you could say, delaminated. Water got under the felt where the styrol door insulation is located. It turned into a lake. You know, the water seeped through the ceiling into the building and resulted in significant water damage. You could say on the entire surface of the house.
The roofing felt detached from these parapets, so does not wish so. So it's no wonder the building's deterioration progressed. You can imagine it stood unused. Winter came and everything started expanding due to the frost, so the damage worsened.
Exactly. The gutters were also neglected. You can see very large oak trees here. They got clogged. At one point there was 30 centimeters of water here.
So the pool was a pool on the roof. We like pools, but not like that, right? Generally, well, okay. So tell me, where did you even start with the repair of this roof?
Well, we started by removing the old roofing felt. You know, we had to dry.
How much of the roofing felt was there before?
Two layers as well. The 2 layers laid crosswise. We removed the old roofing felt, started drying. You know, all the water had to be evaporated, dried.
How did you dry it? Listen, tell us.
Their layers, like in general, the weather helped us a lot with this because obviously atmospheric conditions, well, ideally of course. Plus, as you know, we had our own vacuums, dehumidifiers that extract from under the styroder. This is technology obviously known for this purpose for a long time, and after this drying, as you know, we proceeded to apply the roofing felt.
Okay, and the roofing, tell us about the roofing. What does this layer consist of?
In the meantime, we also had to fill some holes because the styrodur was unevenly placed, and we had to simply even out those holes with a special putty so that even after the proper roofing, water wouldn't pool and freeze in winter, creating an ice rink. This is known to have a very adverse effect on the roofing material. Water that stands and freezes.
Well, it can't stand, it freezes, the material underneath expands and so on. Micro cracks form and we have a problem again after some time. So yes, what do we have now on this roof structure, which is...
We have applied 2 layers of paint, an underlay felt and then the main surface felt laid crosswise.
Crosswise, yes, it is important.
Yes, next we have applied an anti-agent, a reflective agent, coffee.
This is really what distinguishes this roof, a special feature that will ensure the roof certainly lasts the next 25 years.
Here we specifically added white pigment so that the light would simply be reflected, because there is a photovoltaic installation
Sure.
Which works double-sided panels, and
Sure.
we simply wanted to compensate for the loss of light due to the overgrown trees, which have a lot of leaves and it's much too dark.
Sure.
So that the sunlight is reflected off the roof, and the solar panels also receive sunlight from below.
Yes, that is important. Here it is a wooded area, so the efficiency of these photovoltaic panels was automatically lower. So here, by coating this roofing felt with this paint, the light is reflected. The panels receive this light from below, they receive these photons, so it significantly, as Wojtek said, compensates for the lack of direct light from the sky on the sunny side. Were any additional metalwork or repairs of this type done in connection with this roof? Did it all hold together somehow?
The sheet metal work generally held up. There were minor gaps that we filled in, but I believe they weren't a significant problem.
So let's repeat again. We have styrodur underneath, 2 layers of welded 9 roofing felt. Then a product called KAWA was used. You don't even need to paint a roof layer, just add the appropriate pigment to this product directly. You told me that first there was grouting and then there was...
Exactly, all the roofing felt joints are first covered with a compound of greater granulation to simply reinforce those joints, though, as is known to be the weakest point. Strategic points were reinforced with a more plastic compound. Then we apply it with a brush, of course, because the consistency of this compound is quite thick.
Great, you don't need any special or elaborate tools for this.
A small brush, really.
Super, an advantage.
A bit of talent for painting, like with a small sponge. Then the entire surface was classically coated with a roller and painted with 1 layer.
Single layer, so 1 layer is enough and it gives such a great effect. I'll add right away, which is very important in my opinion, that thanks to this paint color, light, in the summer when there is more of it, we naturally want it, but it simultaneously heats surfaces like roofing felt. However, thanks to this pigment, the light is reflected and the house is cooler. This is also important. It is a solution from passive construction, where we try to do everything gravitationally, naturally, using the forces of nature to reduce energy consumption, such as for air conditioning. This roof color makes the interiors of the house cooler. This is also very important, and at the same time it reflects photons which are supplied to the photovoltaic panels, and we get energy from the sun.
I would also like to mention that that someone might say a white roof is hard to keep clean. Not true. This material is well suited for maintaining cleanliness. For someone, simply rinsing with a regular hose gets it to a state as if it were just painted.
Great, between sentences, Wojtek mentioned to you that a special agent was used to repair this roof. Basically a sealing mass called KAWA. And it is crucial here not just for the sealing effect, it is not only with moisture protection. It also has other properties unique among other materials available on the market. Above all, is a thermal insulator, meaning it performs thermal insulation functions. When white titanium pigment is added, it very effectively reflects light, reflects photons. It reflects with an efficiency of 400 watts per square meter. Hence, the use of this mass caused that photovoltaic panels receiving these photons on both sides have the efficiency assumed by the manufacturer despite dense tree coverage. Another aspect is that I mentioned thermal insulation. Roofs or facades covered with the KAWA mass retain inside up to 3 degrees Celsius. Meanwhile, in summer it causes the interiors to be cooler. To visualize this better for you, look at these two images from a thermal imaging camera. In the left shot, the thermal imaging is not yet turned on, but in the right it is. And you can see that in the areas where the sealing mass NCT KAWA has been applied, the color is distinctly cooler, leaning towards blue. Where this material is not yet applied, you can see that the color is approaching red, which indicates that through those areas much more heat escapes. This product can be applied both on sheathing or on a regular underpinning layer consisting of adhesive mesh, adhesive with a brush or regular roller. Moreover, the structure that forms as a result of applying the coffee compound has properties that prevent microorganisms from nesting in it. This makes it extremely difficult for fungi, molds and mosses to adapt to the structure coated with the coffee compound.